Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss a short story by Rabindranath Tagore called Atithi, which in English translates as guest. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. Now for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I want you to have a pinch of patience because I have tried my best to squeeze in the entire story summary for you in the next 15 to 20 minutes. I've tried my best to summarize and do justice to each of the 6 parts of the story. So let's begin. Before we proceed with anything related to the story, I would like to draw your attention to the phrase Atithi Devo Bhava, which translates to guest is God in English and reflects the deeply ingrained cultural value of hospitality in India. Now let us see if the story that we are going to discuss today, Atithi or guest, does it stand true to this cultural principle of considering the guest as God or not. Let me know in the comment section down below after you have watched the video till the end. To tell you about the background and context of the story, we see that it unfolds in a rural setting along the river banks of a Bengali village, offering us a glimpse into the lives of the characters against the backdrop of everyday rural life in colonial India. It portrays the societal norms, family dynamics and cultural traditions which were prevalent during that period. The central characters include Tarapada, a young Brahmin boy of mysterious background, and Charu, whom we could also call as Charu. She is the spirited daughter of Matilal Babu and Annapurna. Their interactions along with those of other villagers will shape the story and provide us insight into the complexities of human relationships. At its core, the story will explore the transient or the temporary nature of human connections and how life is unpredictable, because despite attempts to control or manipulate circumstances, the characters find themselves subject to the whims of destiny. Tarapada's sudden departure highlights this theme, serving as a reminder of the uncertainties of life and the inevitability of change. Additionally, we could say that this story also has the power of human emotions portrayed. Particularly, we see the elements of love and jealousy highlighted in the story and how it shapes the actions and relationships of individuals. Charu's conflicting feelings towards Tarapada, ranging from admiration to resentment, highlights the intricacies of human relationships. Without wasting any more time, let's delve into the story. The story begins with the setting where Matilal Babu is a zamindar of Kilia, is travelling home with his family by boat. At this time, a Brahmin boy called Tarapada approaches Matilal Babu and requests for a ride to Nandigram. Now this boy is a fair-skinned, beautiful boy and carries himself with a lot of grace. His appearance suggests purity and Brahminical perfection. He assists in cooking with practical skills, impressing Matilal Babu and his family. Seeing this, Matilal invites Tarapada to join them for a meal, showing his kindness and generosity. Tarapada at this time interacts with Matilal's wife Annapurna. As a woman, we all are curious creatures, I feel. So she is trying to understand what is the background to this little boy. Annapurna is drawn to Tarapada's presence and attempts to learn more about him. She learns that Tarapada left home at a young age despite being loved and cherished by his family and community. He has wanderlust and love for music, which led him to leave his home repeatedly and join various performance troupes. He says that he was belonging to a family of 5 siblings. He was the 4th, yet no matter how much his mother, elder brother or the other relatives tried to stop him, he never was able to stay at home. And then one fine day, despite his experiences, he remained detached and innocent, untouched by the cruelty, the vices of the world. Now, Tarubda was beloved by his family and community. Still, he was drawn to a life of wandering and performance. Music holds a special attraction for him from a very young age, prompting him constantly to join these performance groups. Now, Tarubda repeatedly joins different troops, including the Yatra troops, Pakali singers, and gymnasts, and then one day he leaves his house without providing explanation to anyone. His departure is sudden and silent, reflecting his desire for constant freedom. His curiosity and talent, particularly in music and gymnastics, led him to join various groups and learn new skills. Despite his exposure to the harsh realities of the world, strangely, his innocence remained intact. Nothing happened to it. Now, towards the end of part 1, we see that Tarubda meets Matilal Babu on his way to Nandigram, drawn by the prospect of joining an amateur yatra group there as well. Matilal invites Tarubda into his home without any hesitation, showing compassion towards this runaway boy. Now, Tarubda's pure innocence and detachment contrasts with the worldliness of Matilal Babu, highlighting and providing us with two different perspectives. So, we see that this particular part 1 of the story highlights the background to this wandering boy who is drawn to music and performance, and yet his innocence remains intact from the worldly ties. Part 2 of the story I call Journey on the River. The boat sails in the afternoon amidst the lush surroundings of the monsoon river. Tarubda seeks peace on the roof of the boat, avoiding any further questions about his home and family. He has found his secret spot where he wants to stay till he reaches the destination. Now the river, the fields and the distant woods have a vibrant beauty under the golden sunlight, painting a beautiful picture of abundance and full of energy. Despite his transient nature, Tarubda feels intimately linked to the natural world around him, observing and absorbing the sights and sounds with a lot of curiosity, because he was a wanderer and this was a new kind of setting which he was wanting to absorb. He engages with the helmsman and oarsmen, displaying his willingness to participate and help in the various tasks which are related to sailing the boat. Annapurna is, however, troubled by Tarubda's indifference to her hospitality. She is constantly trying to impress the boy, show her care for the boy, but the boy is just completely detached. She is trying to provide comfort and care to him, but the boy is just not pleased. He displays indifference towards material comforts, showing a preference for a simple way of life. He seamlessly integrates into the boat's routine, displaying his versatility and eagerness to engage in various activities which are happening in the boat. He possesses a wide range of talents and knowledge which he has acquired from his experiences with different groups. Remember, he used to perform with different groups. So from each of those experiences that he has had, he has a lot of ways to adapt to life. He shares a song from his collection with the boat's occupants, captivating them with his performance and evoking a range of emotions among the people who were on board. Annapurna is also moved to tears by the song that he sings, while Matilal Babu sees him as a potential surrogate son. He feels so much connected to him that he wants to have him as his son. However, Matilal Babu and Annapurna have a daughter called Charu Shashi. She feels a sense of jealousy towards the boy's presence because obviously he is like a rival. He has everything good in him. He is being admired by everyone and all the limelight has been taken by him. So this part of the text delves into Tarubda's journey on the river, his interaction with the boat crew, his connection with nature, and the emotional dynamics within the family in response to his presence. Now remember, Charu Shashi has developed a kind of jealousy towards Tarubda, so she is the only child of her parents, receiving all the affection and attention of her parents. She is described as willful and unpredictable, especially regarding her opinions on food, clothes and hairstyle. Her moods fluctuate and she can be loving and affectionate at one moment and very, very, hostile the next moment. So Charu Shashi develops a strong animosity, hatred towards Tarupda, causing significant trouble for her parents. Her resentment intensifies as she witnesses the talents and accomplishments or achievements that are there in the boy, leading her to reject any acknowledgement of the good qualities that he has. Charu Shashi's behavior disrupts the meal times and creates a lot of tension within the family, particularly whenever Tarupda would perform. Annapurna, the mother at this time, hopes that music might soften Charu Shashi's hatred, but her daughter remains cold and dismissive. Annapurna refrains from showing any affection towards Tarupda in front of Charu Shashi so that she can avoid any kind of jealousy that arises in her. Despite Charu Shashi's opposition, however, Annapurna, Matilal Babu and Tarupda enjoy evening singing sessions by the river, which evokes a sense of love and appreciation for the boy. Tarupda also makes efforts to engage the daughter with his stories, songs and musics, but she still remains resistant. She is not ready to change. However, we also see that towards the end she has secretly started admiring Tarupda's swimming skills in the river, showing a subtle sign of interest despite her outward rejection of him. So this part of the text deals with the tumultuous relationship between Charu and Tarupda, highlighting her jealousy, hostility and occasional moments of hidden admiration or love towards Tarupda. In part 4 of the story, the boat arrives at Kilia where a grand reception awaits Matilal Babu. Tarupda, however, slips away quietly to explore the village around. He effortlessly befriends many villagers, earning their affection and respect within a very short span of time. He proves to be adaptable to any situation or task, engaging in different types of activities and trades without any kind of difficulty. Despite his charm and social skills, there's one girl in the village, Charu Shashi, who is still not being able to come to terms with him. Her jealousy intensifies on learning the fact that he has developed a close relationship with Sonamani. She is another villager's daughter. Now Tarupda is intrigued by Charu Shashi's conflicting emotions and behavior, finding her more and more fascinating and attractive. In a fit of jealousy and anger, we see Charu destroys Tarupda's beloved flute, causing a fight between them. Tarupda is surprised by Charu's actions but still finds this situation very humorous and absurd, further piquing his interest in her. Tarupda expresses a desire to learn English upon seeing illustrated books in Matilal Babu's library. Now Matilal Babu arranges for Tarupda to receive English lessons from headmaster of the village of the secondary school called Ram Ratan Babu. So this part of the text explores Tarupda's integration into Kilia, the village, his relationship with the villagers, particularly Charu, and his newfound interest in wanting to learn English. Now we see that the conflict with Charu intensifies. Tarupda immerses himself in English studies with dedication, isolating himself from others to focus on his education. Charu, driven by jealousy and a desire for attention, insists on joining this English lessons along with Tarupda, but her behavior also comes in the way of both her own and Tarupda's progress. Charu's jealousy leads her to sabotage Tarupda's studies by pouring ink on his books, stealing his pen and tearing his exercise books. However, Tarupda's calm reaction to Charu's destructive behavior still surprises her, prompting her to seek forgiveness by writing a promise that she would never come in the way of his studies again. Now at this time, Sonamani, fearing Charu's intentions towards Tarupda, lurks outside the lesson room, expressing concern for Tarupda's well-being and his lack of visits to her home. She is also getting insecure. Tarubda, aware of Charu's jealousy and Sonamani's concerns, maintains his kindness towards Sonamani, promising to visit her despite Charu's threats. Charu, feeling threatened by Sonamani's presence and Tarubda's kindness towards her, locks him in his room to prevent him from leaving, pleading with him to eat and forgive her. Now, despite her promises to behave well, Charu's jealousy repeatedly resurfaces, leading to frequent fights with Tarubda, followed by tearful apologies and temporary moments of peace. So, this part of the text deals deeper with the escalating fight between Tarubda and Charu, highlighting her jealousy-driven actions, yet Tarubda's patience and attempts to maintain peace amidst this disturbance. Finally, we come to part 6 of the video. I call it Marriage Proposal and Tarubda's Departure. Almost 2 years have passed and Tarubda finds himself more settled and attached to this current lifestyle, possibly because he is influenced by his studies and the comfort of his surroundings. Annapurna suggests to Matilal Babu that Tarubda would make a suitable husband for Charu, prompting Matilal to consider this idea despite initial hesitation. Matilal Babu sends someone to Tarubda's village to gather more information about his family, which turns out to be poor but high caste. Upon receiving positive feedback, he proposes a marriage alliance, which is accepted, of course, by Tarubda's family. Matilal and Annapurna secretly start planning the wedding without informing Tarubda, setting the date for the month of Shravan and making preparations for the ceremony. Charu's behavior remains erratic as she alternates between disturbing Tarubda's studies with her presence and also displaying her affection. Despite his previous detachment, Tarubda begins to experience a deep emotional connection to Charu, which is evidenced by his altered reactions to her behavior. Wedding preparations proceed amidst the arrival of monsoon season, which brings joy and activity to the village as the river swells and the boats arrive full of goods for these festivities. On a moonlit evening, amidst the excitement of the approaching chariot festival and the wedding preparations, Tarubda suddenly leaves the village without notice, returning to his village and his mother's embrace before the encircling ties of love and marriage could fully envelope him. So this section of the story highlights the sudden turn of events towards the end of the story with Tarubda's departure, which disrupts the wedding plans, and also it highlights the emotional dynamics within the village, leaving behind a sense of anticipation and many questions which still remained unanswered. So there are 4 major themes that come out from this story. First is fate and destiny. Secondly, the human dynamics. Thirdly, social hierarchy. And fourthly, self-discovery. Let us look at each of them in details. So we see fate and destiny, wherein the story shows the idea of fate and how it influences the lives of the characters. Despite efforts to control destinies, all the characters ultimately succumb to random, unforeseen circumstances which are beyond their control. No one knew Tarubda would suddenly leave the house of his mother. No one knew Tarubda would leave Matilal Babu's house as well. So this is how destiny you cannot predict. Secondly, interpersonal relationships, particularly those between Tarubda and Charu, serve as a focal point of the story. It highlights the nuances of human connections, exploring the theme of love, jealousy, and emotional conflict. The story also touches upon the social hierarchies which are prevalent in the colonial Bengali society, how Tarubda's Brahmin background and Charu's privileged upbringing highlight the norms and expectations of the society that govern the interaction and who people would choose to support and live their life with. Also, we see through Tarubda's journey of self-discovery and Charu's evolving perception of herself and others, the story highlights the theme of identity and individuality, as both the characters struggle with questions of self-worth and belonging, ultimately seeking to carve out their own paths in life. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.